Well, hello everybody, and welcome to the latest episode of A Dose of Dandy podcast with me, Nicholas Fairford, and Nathan Rollinson. And today we're going to be talking all about social media. So I hope that you will enjoy this episode. So this year we are celebrating our 10-year anniversary of working in the social media industry. And I know for both of us, it's been a journey of ups and downs and something that has changed so much over the years. I remember first starting out on Instagram and it was so exciting because it was fresh and new and you could grow really, really quickly. And actually, one of the things that I like the most about social media is how that we met. And I remember back in the day, it was so easy to connect with new people through Instagram, and it was a time where you really found your tribe and people who had the same interests as you, and it was such a unique thing because it was a real way of finding those people who did the same thing as you, who had the same interests, and I think it's definitely changed now. It's getting harder.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Those were the glory days of social media.
Cool. And I remember back in the day on Instagram, they have a very basic filter, all the shape of the frames and everything, with a lovely community, the way we share our passion, our favorite thing to share with the community. But now obviously it evolved, it changed, it's all about marketing, promotion and that sort of thing. So obviously it's all about business nowadays compared to the golden days of Instagram.
I know. And we were laughing just because we were saying that we're thinking about what you don't get to see behind the scenes in social media work. And we often do hotel stays for work. And what we do is we order breakfast in the room and it looks so glamorous on the photo. But then
Or
what you don't see is that it's been sitting there for like an hour while we do all the photos, getting all the angles. And by the time you get to eat it, it's cold and a bit
cold
stale.
and already that we had to order a new copy and everything. This one shipped with a prop and chair, but I do forget it way, but the holder wanted to promote about it at the same time, but we need to eat. But the same thing with it brings so many clothes and we're always at right, hanging them all up and steaming and steaming and steaming. Do you remember?
Yeah.
And sometimes we just stand up to the pretty dry cleaner, whatever, and come up with a bill. It's like, oh my God, but you always want to look good and presentable, but it always,
Renown. It's
there's just so many stories behind the lens.
exactly, yeah.
Now, speaking of that, you look amazing today. What are you wearing?
Well, thank you. So this suit is actually 10 years old, which is great because that's the theme of this episode, 10 years on social
Right.
media. I was in Milan 10 years ago, and I remember being there, and everybody looked so elegant and chic, and I felt a bit out of place. So I said, I need to go and buy an Italian suit. So I went into this store, and it was just one off the peg. So one that was already made, but I just had it tailored there to fit. And having it for 10 years, the quality is still really great. It's a nice cashmere wool, and I've had it adjusted about three or four times. So I've had the length change. I had it double cuff, and then when I lost weight, I had to have the made smaller. So now this has been a suit that's lasted for 10 years,
Wow.
and I still enjoy wearing it. And what about you? Tell us about what you're wearing.
Before I start, it says a lot about the quality.
Exactly.
The good things that we just paid it and it stays for so long. And it looked like you bought it recently, but it's all about the quality. And I love the active little pale blues.
Yes, just a little bit
Little
of
dabble.
sparkle. Yeah, because it's quite I do like uniform monotone looks, but then that little sparkle just gives that.
Or we go
Dose
with the
depth.
extra.
Exactly.
What am I wearing is like,
Yes.
believe it or not, when you got your orange beach bow to director, I'm the opposite, I'm the high tree, and I got these suits from River Island.
Wow.
I mean,
Island.
I often go to shop to places like High Tree, and I try to aim, it looks expensive, but plain, and you can mismatch, you know,
Yeah.
that was the relevant, it's a bit obvious. But I've got these quite recently, and it's very good. I mean, it's not that expensive, and I just love the colour so much.
It's a beautiful color.
And I'm wearing pairs with almost like cashmere feel shirt from Walker's later at a Scottish brand.
Yes.
And I just love their clothes. They got a lot of good quality, high end,
Beautiful
and
quality.
it can match with so many options. And I'm ending with a designer shoe from Coty and Louboutin, which is very unusual. It's not something unusually picked, but I thought maybe give you an extra statement. You know, we had a little bit of ear to make me look a bit taller and elevated. But I thought
Very
with
well.
my attire.
I like it. And I think
Thank you.
it's all about how you style things. So it might be a River Island suit, but it's how you style it up with some nice shoes and that good shirt, and that really brings out the quality. But it's a very good outfit today. I'm impressed.
Thank you so much.
So we're going to be talking today about social media. And one of the things that has changed the most is the terms that we use in this industry. And the term that is the most famous now, and one that we often get referred to, is influencer. So what do you think about when you think of influencer, and is it something that you are happy to be described as?
Oh, wow. It's been a long time since I've been in the industry, and I was started with a blogger. I remember the day it was all about blogging and writing, and obviously it involved to be influencer. I mean, the word of influencer can give you many reasons, but what I've heard so far, it had a quite a bad reputation.
Yes.
So don't get me the wrong way, but kind of influencer, it sounds a bit, it's all about me. At in terms of day when you go to work at the hotel or when you work in the travel or work in the fashion and everything, it's about the person all the time because they want to influence them and them. And the more you becoming recognized, the more demanded you are of what I've been heard about it. And I thought it's a bit, you know, they expect everything to be played or they expect to be what they want to do. You know, that sort of thing. But for me, in the term that influencer, I don't really like it. But to give you the bad look about it, the way I prefer to be called content creator, which I produce content for the client, like the hotel travel or the photographer, which I think it's more presentable, it's more, where with the influencer, I feel that it's high maintained, it's more responsibility.
Definitely.
And I don't think it fits well with me.
Doesn't sit well with you.
No.
Well, it doesn't sit well with me either. I think I agree that it's become a term that has got like a bad meaning now.
Yeah.
And I think that's because it's such a saturated industry. When we began, it was so different, and it was a lot harder to build up and share your voice. But now anybody can. But I think for me, I don't see myself as an influencer either. I think that an influencer is someone who is on social media every day promoting products, promoting things for people to buy so that they can make a living. Whereas what I think that I do is I create content, like you said, create content every week that is there for people to enjoy and to consume. So I'm not asking people to buy things. Occasionally do branded content in my videos, but really the whole thing is to
Pushing every day.
yeah,
You know what I mean?
it's just to I want to inspire people to enjoy life and get the most out of life. So I feel like I'm giving more of myself than an influencer typically would when they're just asking people to
Exactly.
consume.
And what we offer, and we want to offer what we see in life, the beautiful thing they like, what we wear, we want to value things, we travel. It's not the word that influence it's all about. But for me, influence interpretation is about unrelated worlds. You don't understand. It's all about you go to the character, let it be ball gown, and that's all. For me, it's one step too far, in my opinion. I mean, it looks amazing for the photo, but for everyone in the world to watch and they want to get, and they can't wear ball gowns. That's my opinion, where with you and I, we are content creators, wear beautiful outfit, practical, but people get inspired by, oh, I quite like that, and I go to that kind of hotel to have an afternoon to, we give them a bit of variety,
Yeah,
you know, and for me, that's,
buy more things to
and it feels the pressure,
yeah. So it's a lot of
and it's a
pressure.
bit unnecessary spend,
Yeah.
because they get paid to do promotion thing, and for the audience, do they really need it? It's a bit like Catch-22, they want to give them a bit of a balance, which I think is quite healthy.
So do you feel like you've been influenced by people online at all?
Hmm. I do believe that I actually influence a lot of people to go to travel more, open their eye to beautiful things, go to restaurants they've never heard of, go to um, the country they never thought of visiting, you know. I think what I do with the lens, I take a photo, is actually quite inspiring people. And I hope to think that I have influence on some audience to inspire them then to do what I have been done or what I'm wearing, you know, that sort of, or what fragrance I'm picking, then that sort of thing. I think it's quite important to be honest. I don't like the concept and thinking I'm promoting everything when I genuinely don't like it and I'm promoting. It's a bit of a hypocrite. I think if you're honest with something, share it and it's authentic in that way.
Yeah.
So what about yourself? How do you deal with your circumstance on YouTube? I'm sure, I mean, from my perspective, your lifestyle and everything on YouTube is very great, believed and everything. But I'm sure you had your money behind the lens. How do you deal with the criticism? How do you deal with your daily life?
Well, yeah, I mean, you know me very well, so you get to see the person behind the lens on
I'm very
YouTube.
privileged,
And
but should the audience like
I
the
know.
expect Nicolas to be all round, do you know what I
Yeah,
mean?
well, I definitely think that my online life and my life in real life is totally different, two separate things. And that is a very deliberate thing because I just think if you are giving everything on social media, sharing every aspect of your life, then there's nothing really left for you. And it's hard to feel like you're a normal person. So I know that when I'm on camera, I'm being totally authentic, I'm being myself, and I'm sharing things that I genuinely love. But when the camera goes off and I'm with my friends or my family, they're seeing the Nicholas that nobody else gets to see. And I think that's quite nice because it keeps a piece of me for myself. Um, and in terms of dealing with criticism, my audience has always been incredibly supportive, and that's something that I'm grateful for because I've had that from the beginning. So when I first started posting YouTube videos, I was quite scared because you look at other people who are doing this every week and you read the comment section and there are a lot of mean, nasty comments. But in my comment section, it's mostly 99% beautiful comments from people who are my friends there, and that's what it feels like. It feels like a community of friends. So I'm very lucky in that respect. It's just very rare comments, and with those ones, at the beginning, I used to think, the bad comments would stick out, even if you have 100 amazing ones. The one bad one would stick in. You'd start to be self-conscious.
Then how do you deal with that with all the like, nasty negative comment? Do you delete it or do you reply to them or do you just leave it or do you get quite hurt when
I
how do you
I used to reply to them because I used to think I want to say something back, but I realized that the people who are saying nasty things, I mean, people can give me a criticism and give me a constructive criticism. That's very helpful. I enjoy those comments. But if you're just saying something to be nasty, people who are doing that, I don't want them to feel that their comment is valuable because really their comment isn't valuable and actually their voice isn't valuable either. They're sitting behind a screen and the only thing that they've got to say is on my channel. Otherwise, they don't have a voice. So I don't want to give them any energy from me. So when I see a bad comment, I never delete it. I just leave it there so that everybody else can read it. And I also do never respond. I don't give it any energy. So I think that is the best way to approach it.
agree?
And also, in the past, I've dealt with online forums. So in the comment section on YouTube, it's all positive. But then someone did send to me once a online forum and there was this whole thread about one of my YouTube videos, and it was like 600 comments, and every single one was like mean and nasty. And honestly, I was obsessed with reading them for about a whole month. I think I told you about them before and showed you. And I think you can get to a point where it becomes an obsession and you start reading these things about yourself and you start to look at yourself and think, is this true? About your image, the way that you look, the way that you speak, and you start to get very insecure.
And you start questioning yourself, making you think, am I worth it? Am I doing this job?
Yeah.
You know, it's not a nice thought and everything. At the end of the day, you are Nicolas Baker, you can't please everyone.
Nope.
But except you please yourself. You know what you're doing well. You know what you're standing well. and you make most of the audience happy. So
Exactly.
stick to it.
Yeah.
It's time for myself. I mean, I can't please everybody. I had some criticism, but the other thing is that you can't criticize my disability because I can't change.
Exactly.
Whether you like it or not, if you don't like it, just quit my Instagram, unfollow, let it all.
Yeah.
But I'm not going to try and please you because at the end of the day, I am who I am. You are who you are.
That's all that you can do. And
Exactly.
that is very, very important. So when I was reading all these negative things, it gets into your head. And I remember the next time I had to film for YouTube, for the first time ever, I was feeling nervous and scared and insecure. And I just felt like all those people who were commenting were watching me right then and there. And it affected me. So I had to get to a point where I thought, you know what you just said, do not read these comments. These people are totally not your vibe and they're not going to improve your life in any way. So focus on all of the people who show up every week, who watch the videos and who comment as a community. So that is what I've always done, is
And
create the community.
exactly. And think about it, they are not your friend, they are your audience. It feels like you've known them for a long time, but actually, have you met them for a cup of tea? Have you had a house dinner? It's like we inspire them, and then that's the boundary. But sometimes, obviously, with these people coming to it actually get into it because we are human beings, we have a feeling too.
Yeah.
And do you feel like with your job as Nicolas Barefoot and Nicolas, do you feel like you have a bit of personality disorder, you know, because sometimes you try to separate it. Because I know you, because when you're at work and with you, you are becoming Nicolas Barefoot, you know, the brand, and but as you get out, you still got that carried away with you, because you never know who you might bump into or something, which I've seen myself. So many people had to go, oh my God, you want Nicolas Barefoot? But do you ever shrug and say, I want to be Nicolas today? Can you just leave me be? Do you ever go through that experience?
Yeah. So I think Uh, in the beginning, when I was, because I always found it very easy to switch between the two. So when the camera starts rolling, that character just starts to happen. There's nothing I can do about it. Everything just starts, and then it was very easy for me to switch off and then go out and do my own thing. And I remember there's times when I've been in like a nightclub or a bar and I've been having a lot of fun and not really thinking about anything, and then people have come up to me and recognized me, and then I think, oh, I need to actually be a little bit more
Yeah,
careful
I
because
remember that.
people can see things that perhaps they wouldn't expect. And that's when you have to, there is that thing where even though I am myself in real life, I'm always thinking I need to make sure I'm presenting the best version, always.
Did you feel like people are watching you constantly in the back of your head and feel like you have to be on your best behaviour all the time? You
Mm,
just never know someone might watching.
definitely.
It feels like, especially when you're not popular eye.
Do you remember when we were in Geneva and we had the cheese fondue
Oh God, that was a funny moment.
and we had red wine and we were a bit tipsy and we were I spat wine over you by accident, remember?
Was it over silly joke?
And we were howling with laughter and just being really silly. And then literally 2 minutes later when we were leaving, this lady came over and wanted a photo. And it made me think, oh my God, has she just seen all that stupid behavior? That's exactly a perfect example that, you know,
Exactly.
you can try to be who you are, but you just,
You never know what around the corner would be.
yes.
And those are quite scary sometimes.
Yeah, but I do enjoy my job, and I'm not an uber famous person, nowhere even close. So I don't feel like I'm constantly being watched.
But
It's just,
Hakan, you are quite well known. But I've known you for over 2 years. But these places we go to, you are being recognised in almost every country we go to.
yeah,
I thought, oh, bloody hell. Here we go again. Can you have some privacy? But it's like, it's amazing that our people admire you around the world. Like,
yeah.
it's just unbelievable. It's amazing what you do.
Yeah, I feel happy. I feel very lucky and privileged that I'm able to. I've managed to last 5 years on YouTube, and people still watch every week.
Mm.
And I do enjoy meeting people as well because sometimes when you're filming and you're on your own and you don't really see everybody who's watching,
No,
and it feels like maybe nobody is watching. You don't really know that people are. So when I meet people on the streets or in a place and they say, "Oh, I really enjoy the videos," it makes it more real. So it's been a really fun time, and I hope to keep doing it for many, many years.
exactly. And what part of a job that you don't really enjoy doing it? And it's
Well,
most challenging for you, being like, oh God, here we go again, I have to do that. But this is the part of a job, what you don't enjoy.
I think really the technical things like editing and also the the filming aspect. So if I'm filming, I'll do everything on my own. And if you're thinking about maybe doing like a recipe, that on your own is a real time consuming thing. You've got one camera, you're pouring flour into a bowl from there, and then you move the camera, you pour the flour into the bowl from here,
It's
and then
all about
oh
detail,
yeah,
constantly
and then you
putting
forget
it
that
together.
you need an ingredient, so you have to run out to the shop, and then the microphone battery will die, and the lights will be.
It's like right now with the podcast, you've got 3 cameras here, the lighting. I mean, not a lot of people do behind the lens. Have you ever actually thought about doing a new show, but behind the scenes of Nicolas Pepper?
It's a good idea,
I
yeah.
just think it's a good give the people perspective how hard it is because people think, oh, I have seen some of the comment, if I'm being honest with you, some people say, oh, get a real job, this is not a thing. But I'm like, it's actually quite a lot of detail involved. Think about it, you have to go back, plan, prep, outfit, what's the theme today, you know, what am I going to say about it, to prepare it half an hour, I need to think about preparing the ingredient, the camera, and then go to editing, colouring, and then publicating and writing, and then onto Instagram, do the story. It goes on and on and on. But especially you're doing 3 videos per week, it's quite overwhelming.
It's a lot.
It's
It's a
a
lot of
lot. But
work.
I think it's good to showcase behind the scenes of Nicolas Pepper one day.
It would
And
be.
that could give a good insight.
Yeah, something to think about,
Yeah.
definitely. But yeah, it is. It can be hard work. So I think if I was ever able to get to that point where I could hire help to, help me film and then someone to do the editing, that would mean that I would just get to enjoy the
So,
process of creating. That would be a lot better. So thank God we have Dan here to do this podcast with us, because
definitely.
if we had to do this on our own, I'd be.
Exactly. But we were trying to achieve in your future career with Nicolas Pepper on YouTube, what you want to change, what you want to improve on.
I think I always think about improving the quality. So it's changed in many ways. At the beginning, I think we mentioned this before, that it was all about creating the perfect video, like a real TV show. And then I realized that it's actually better just to be a bit more casual, a bit more vlog style. But I would,
Related,
yeah, more
more
relatable.
humble.
Yeah. But yeah, I think just to keep improving in terms of the quality of content. And as we've mentioned in this podcast over other episodes, one of our things is that we both want to own a property. And I think for me, when I can do that, buy a house, that will become my life and my work. So I'm really thinking about, when I buy a house, it's going to be also to really an investment to create new content. So I want to share that, because I think it's very interesting to see people building a house.
Now, did you hear that Ellen Kind Fonter plea to help Nicholas to get the help?
Yeah, we could always do with extra spices.
But I think it's quite interesting because obviously you started your career baby to get on YouTube, started very small, and now you've got over 200,000 subscribers, and that is an incredible journey in 5 years. Are you hoping to grow more, or are you hoping to?
Oh yeah, definitely. I mean, I'm not really going to be happy until there's an M at the end of the number. So I think that's the. Yeah, I keep thinking, oh, when I get to this many, and but then that's another thing. You can't really. You have to try and enjoy what you already have, because you could have 1 million subscribers and nobody's really that engaged. Whereas I know that all of my 220,000, however many it is now, they are people who come every week and comment, and I feel like there's a real community there. Anyway, that is enough about me. I want to ask some questions about you.
One more thing, sorry, to about the difference between you and I, because you work in a similar industry, but yours about YouTube, where it's mine about Instagram. But I think for you, you probably get more pressure because you've got more audience watching you. You show your face everywhere compared to me. I'm a photographer. Every now and then I show a little bit of me, but it's more about lifestyle, architecture, beautiful things. But I don't know whether you feel more pressure because everybody is actually watching you. You're actually able sharing your life. Where with me, I'm a bit more private.
Yeah. I think there is more pressure because you are on camera, and even if you are limiting the amount of stuff that you're sharing with people, like I do, I always make, like, really, if you think about it, uh, I've been filming on YouTube for 5 years, but nobody has ever known the name of one of my ex-boyfriends. Nobody really knows what I do in my spare time. It's there's no details that people really know about.
And where you exactly live.
Yeah, thank God.
But when you have a killer stalker.
But you can definitely control. But yeah, there is a pressure of constantly feeling like you're showing up and sharing. But and when we work together as well, I noticed that the pressures of what we do are different. So when we're working at a hotel, you do the photography, I'm doing the video. I think it is a lot easier just to be able to snapshot those moments with a camera and take a photograph that represents something beautiful and people can interpret it.
Yeah.
Whereas with the video, you have to really, it's a process of sharing and creating something that has more of a story, which is a little
Don't
more.
have the detail them,
Yeah. But it's fun and I enjoy it. So it's all good. And if somebody would have said to me when I was like 16, your job is going to be making videos on YouTube, I would be the most excited person. So you have to embrace and just enjoy what you do because everybody finds something about the job that they don't actually like. But it's about those things that just bring joy and happiness.
Exactly. What is the pro and the con about our job?
What do you think
Mm.
about yours?
The pro is that we have that kind of ethic to go to places that we would never be able to afford, or
Yeah.
we're very honoured to be recognised and being invited by the brand and the client, which is a huge honor for us, and also for them to believe in us. That's to mean a great deal to us, you know what I mean? We go to these beautiful places, take a photo for them, taking videos and everything, and we can share it with our audience to encourage them to go to places we go to. And also for us being recognised by the client, the branding, giving us the opportunity, like the page word, you know, to have a dream collaborator with the brand we longer to work with and that sort of thing. We have that almost saying that we have that kind of privilege, but in a good way because we work for it to make sure the dream come true, which is the main thing. But with the con about our job is the payment.
Payment.
I'm sorry today, because we have so many brands, incredible brands, but it's just that the disadvantage about being self-employed, we have to always constantly changing the payment. Even though the contract is 30 day, 45 day, sometimes 2 months, sometimes 3 months, and I think it's not fair. Especially when you've got a loan to pay, bill to pay, brand to pay, you know, that and a good thing, and everything gets delayed and it's looked bad and it's not flowing. So that's one difficult circumstance about payment. And also, with the brand that we work with, especially we got on a prep trip sometimes,
Yes.
and especially when it comes to B group, and I just feel the atmosphere, it's not really in my element. I just feel everyone made of time to look a bit. Some of them saying, I do apologise, but I just feel atmosphere to be fake, very flaky. It's about me, I actually want to be authentic, you know, have a chat, have one-to-one, have a feeling about our career. That's what I'm very grateful to have for you, because in our world, it can be quite lonely.
Yeah. And also, I've noticed that for you as a deaf person, when we are going to these events, it's an immense struggle because lots of these events are usually a drinks reception where you have drinks and everybody's chatting, which is okay, but it's also very loud. So for you, lip reading, it's almost impossible.
It's a struggle.
They always have a presentation where someone does a speech and they're either really far away or facing somewhere else, and you've got no idea what anybody's talking about. So I think that a huge chunk of these press events for you are just sitting there not knowing what's going on.
Yeah, I agree with it. I'm very thankful that I've got an interpreter, British Sign Language interpreter, which is to help me to assist the communication. So the interpreter stand on the stage or stand wherever they need to the person who doing the speech. Don't have to full access. But there are some time when the PR events like that, and they say, "Oh, we can't bring plus one." I said, but the interpreter are not a plus one. They are not a fan. They are professionally translated from my essay to the communication region, and I had to hackle and debate, and I had to feel it's not straight fair. You can't always have the full access and same hearing privilege. You know, especially going on the press trip and that sort of thing. Oh, you have to pay for the blind, you have to pay for that accommodator for the interpreter, and I'm like, okay, I can't go.
Yeah.
But the brand want me to get, and I said, I'm catch 22. So what choice do I have? I have to pay more out of my pocket. I mean, I do love my job, but it's always a lot of constant challenge. But please don't always just my beautiful photo, but it's always constantly battling if I'm on a struggle.
Well, it's good to hear your perspective of that because people do only see what you post on Instagram. They see that beautiful, curated grid of amazing destinations and things that you share. So to hear behind the scenes of what life is like, it's very important for people to know.
And sometimes I look at my Instagram and think, bloody hell, what a lucky chap, you know. And I'm just thinking, it's actually me doing all this job. I'm just me like, it's all the hard work. All I'm seeing in my photo, yeah, it's beautiful to you, it's inspiring, but to me, it's a hard work in there. The communication, the journey, you know, the struggle, you know, the debate, the argument, the payment, blah blah blah. But this what you achieve.
Yeah,
It's weird, isn't it?
yeah, I know what you mean, and that
It's just
is actually
that's how I see it.
it's an interesting point, and it's a great opportunity to move on to the dandy dilemma of the week
Yeah.
because the question
Ooh, I
um
wonder what it is.
it was sent in anonymously through the Nicholas website, and it said, "I follow people who make me feel as though my life isn't glamorous enough. Should I unfollow them, or is that just part of the game?"
You know best.
I think that if you are following somebody and you feel constantly like your life is not enough or you're not enjoying the experience of following them, then definitely you should unfollow them. But after what we've just talked about, Nathan sharing his behind the scenes of the struggles of photography and all the challenges, it is important to realize that what you're seeing online is heavily curated in every way, and people are just choosing to share the best parts of their journey, and that is normal. If you were sharing all the behind the scenes
So,
of your travel, of all the, waiting for invoices to be paid, it's not really people have enough problems in their own lives. They don't
well,
really want to know about yours, so they want to see the inspiration. So I think you have to decide how much you can see as real and how much you just see as inspiration. There are people who I follow on social media who, they're buying the most beautiful handbags. They've got a full room full of clothes. They go on these amazing trips and they're living their most glamorous life.
but are they happy?
I don't know whether they're happy, but I can look at them and say, I find it inspiring and it gives me a little bit of a boost.
Of course.
And so I can choose to see it that way, but I could also choose to see it as that, I don't have all these things and I'm jealous, but I just think you need to decide what for you personally, whether you can handle all of that or whether if it's becoming where you're feeling a bit crappy about it, then you need to think about maybe unfollowing them.
Definitely. And there's always a lot of details behind it. People might think, well, you're very lucky to have that kind of life. But actually, if you think about it, the planning, the preparation, the emailing, the detail, organising the cloud, organising the trip, it should go on and the idea, the content, they just shoot it under it and then end up we have a cold coffee, we're very hungry, we have a break, it should a lot. And then we start posting, asking for the client approval, and then going back and forth, editing, and then approve, post it. It
A
should,
lot.
once we go home, it starts all over again.
Yeah, it does. So yeah, it's been a wild 10 years, ups and downs, but I think definitely fun. And I hope to still be here in another 10 years. Would you still like to be here in 10 years doing this job?
I enjoy being my own boss. There's nothing wrong with that. And I would love to see how I continue for the next 10 years. If I'm not what I'm doing today, but what will be still in the creative industry,
Yes.
something around that element. It could be a different platform. But like I said, I don't know. Because with the job I do, I didn't choose to do this job. It was just start from a hobby. It's all about the hobby and leadership involved. And I do believe let life take you rather than you planning tumor. Because sometimes when you're trying to aim tumor, it goes a different direction.
Yeah.
That I've learned that in my 10 years of experience. To actually let him see where she takes me.
Perfect.
And what about you?
Well, I think there's exactly the same. So I definitely still want to be. I would still like to be creating YouTube content in the another 10
The
years.
new Martha Stewart.
That's it. Yeah. Well, just giving away my secrets. So I would definitely still like to be creating video content because I enjoy it, but I just want to be doing it in a way that's less stressful and more free to focus on making the beautiful stuff. So yeah, Hopefully we'll still be here in 10 years and still be able to do lovely things and sharing with everybody.
Like away.
But I think that is a great way to close today's episode. I hope that you've all enjoyed it. If there is a dandy dilemma, a question that you would like us to look at for you, please do send them in. And don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe wherever you're watching or listening. And we will see you next time. But until then, take care.
Bye bye.